What's going on there, guys? Good afternoon. Once again, it's the Earth Master here, and it is Monday, August 22nd, 2022. It's about almost 4 p.m. West Coast time. Bringing in this little article that the USGS just put out today, which I find kind of interesting here. Earthquake advisory for Central South Carolina. This article was published by Communications and Publishing here, it looks like. State news release in regards to the ongoing earthquake swarm around the South Carolina region, specifically around Elgin and the Lugoff area. Here's a little bit of article that I'm going to read through here. The USGS is providing scenarios to estimate the chance of a larger earthquake as part of an ongoing swarm in the region. Now, the swarm began back in December 27, 2021 with a magnitude 3.3. The largest earthquake to occur so far has been a magnitude 3.6 just back in June of this year. Now, of course, an earthquake swarm refers to a prolonged sequence of earthquakes that lacks any clear primary event or main shock. In contrast to aftershock sequences where a large main shock is followed by a decaying sequence of mostly smaller earthquakes. Swarms can keep the earthquake rate elevated for days to many months, similar to what we see around the Ridgecrest area but in California, but that is all aftershock sequences here. In the region here of South Carolina, we haven't seen a main quake yet, so definitely a swarm. It is generally not possible to predict how long an ongoing swarm will last until it has run its course, and it's impossible to predict the size of the largest earthquake in the sequence. Looks like this area has a history of occasional small scattered earthquakes, but none of particularly large magnitude. The largest earthquake within 50 miles was back in 1913. Looks like Union County, when a magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck about 90 kilometers northwest of where this activity is occurring. Of course, further to the south there in South Carolina, there was a 7.0 back in 1886 in the Charleston area. Located about 87 miles to the southeast of this current swarm. So, gonna go over their scenario here real quick. I just find it kind of crazy that they did put it out here today. Let me show you guys real quick though. This is a swarming area that they're chatting about. I pulled up the last year of activity to this date, 0.5 and above. So this includes all the little magnitude earthquakes as well. I think some's missing though. I'm pretty certain that we've seen more than this, but okay. On this map, within this area of Elgin, Lugoff region, 76 earthquakes on this map. And that's a lot, right? There's definitely a lot here going on in the South Carolina region. Again, the largest was the 3.6 that struck back in June within this swarming area. Far as recent activity goes, we really haven't seen a whole lot here over the last week or so. In fact, August has been pretty scattered, only about 4 earthquakes in this swarm so far, and it's we're well into towards the end of August, so only 4 earthquakes. But they put out the article, and I am here to report on it. The following 3 scenarios describes possibilities of what could happen over a 1-month time frame. So I'm just surprised they're putting it out right now. Scenario 1, which is most likely, about 95% chance earthquakes continue, but none larger than magnitude 4 within the next month. Okay. Scenario 2, less likely, about 5% chance, a larger earthquake, magnitude 4.4 to 5 on the magnitude scale. That's scenario number 2. Scenario 3, least likely, less than 1% chance, a much larger earthquake, magnitude 5 or higher, could occur in this region. The ongoing swarm could trigger an earthquake significantly larger than the 3.6 that occurred last June. While this is a small probability, such an earthquake could have significant impacts on communities nearby and would be followed by aftershocks that would increase in the number of smaller quakes per day. So out there, South Carolina, what can you do? You just got to be prepared. You know, just like here in California, we're always waiting for that big one. And one of these days, no doubt, it will happen. I'm pretty well prepared, I think. There's quite a few useful links here that the USGS posts in terms of being prepared for a larger earthquake. But, you know, these are just their little scenarios. We don't know 100% certain if any one of these is going to play out. All I know is that this area, just about 87 miles to the southeast of the swarming area, seen a 7.0 in 1886. So a little bit of time has passed. I don't know if that's enough accumulated slip rate to produce that type of magnitude earthquake again in the South Carolina region. But swarms have always been something that I study a lot. And most of the time it's either volcanic, right? It could be volcanic. Not here, though. Not in South Carolina. I'm just saying, for example, swarms anywhere around volcanoes would be obviously a volcanic unrest. But here, I believe it's plate dynamics here. There is some smaller faults that run through this region. And again, I don't know what the slip rate is on the area around South Carolina, but these guys putting out this little forecast here. I guess they're maybe kind of covering, you know, a what-if scenario. But again, looking at the map here, only 4 earthquakes so far this month. That's not that big of a deal. We're looking at a little declining multitude of quakes here. So what does it mean? Who knows? We'll just have to see and play it out. Let the scene play out and see what happens. But either way, I wanted to share this with you guys. Earthquake advisory. Sounds a little serious, huh? All right, guys. Have a good day. Again, I will include this in the video description below as a link so you guys can check it out yourself. And of course, we'll be back a little bit later on tonight with a complete update. All right, peace out, folks.